At number 10, Eminem. What happens when one rapper crosses another? Well, a feud begins. We've seen this type of thing before with a number of rappers like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, Kanye West and Drake and Meek Mill, and just so many others. But another toxic duo we can include here is Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, because their feud has also been pretty big. It all started back all the way in 2012 when MGK was 22 and he tweeted about Eminem's then 16-year-old daughter Haley. MGK tweeted calling Haley hot in, quote, the most respectful way possible because M is king. Now, even though Kelly meant to be respectful, he still crossed the line with that tweet, and so a feud began. Because of this initial tweet, MGK's music got banned on the radio for a while, and as it would, it made him angry, especially with Eminem, so in 2018, MGK made a song with Tech-9 where he shaded the rapper, and then shortly after that, Eminem hit back with his own song shading his rival in return. From that point, it was just a lot of messy back and forth, talking trash about each other in interviews and in music. Really, at one point, this beef just kind of got exhausting and people just started speculating that this feud was just fabricated because they're both signed to the same label. It's been pretty quiet between them since early 2020, so maybe this toxicity has subsided, but you can never really be too sure with these two. At number 9, Conor McGregor. Now this beef here is what got a lot of people scratching their heads because it seemed to have just come out of the blue, and it left a lot of us feeling a little confused. At the VMAs this year, while walking the red carpet, there was quite the altercation between MGK and Conor McGregor. The rapper was at the VMAs for a performance and because he was up for an award, which he later won by the way, and Conor, well, he was just there for his buddy Bieber. Anyway, they were both on the red carpet at the beginning of the evening and an altercation broke out. Based on some of the footage that was posted of the event, Conor appeared to have thrown a drink at MGK and then proceeded to try and fight him. It was really dramatic and no one knows why the altercation even happened in the first place. It was first rumored that they got into a fight because MGK refused to take a picture with McGregor, but the rapper later denied those allegations. It was such a bizarre situation that no one really has any answers for, but clearly there's some kind of bad blood there, so if anyone really knows why that is, please let me know. Now before I carry on talking about people who dislike Machine Gun Kelly, I would first like to take a quick moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because your engagement really does help the channel grow and we really appreciate your support. At number 8, Gabriel Rodriguez. Now this next story I'm going to tell you about is one that I had no idea about until my roommate told me about it, so shout out to Blake for being the real MVP and saving this list. Basically, there was an altercation between the rapper and his bodyguards and an actor by the name of Gabriel Rodriguez at a bar because Rodriguez was mad at MGK for that tweet about Eminem's daughter that I told you guys about earlier. After the actor harassed the rapper at the bar, he was soon kicked out, but he caught up to MGK and his crew later on that night. Still angry, the actor and MGK got into a verbal altercation, and then the actor said that he would fight the rapper's bodyguards, which is exactly what ended up happening. The actor got pummeled, and charges were filed against the bodyguards, but this man was really determined to get into the ring, so to speak, with MGK because he said that he would drop all charges if he could fight the rapper one-on-one. Either way, this matter was taken care of through a lawsuit and with monetary compensation, but I wouldn't be surprised if that actor still wants to fight Machine Gun Kelly. At number 7, Jeff Lewis. It seems like Machine Gun Kelly isn't just loud on stage, but also at home. You would think that he would put this loud rocker persona to rest while at home in his free time, but according to his neighbors, that couldn't be further from the truth. His neighbors have said that he's known to host loud and crazy parties, disturbing much of his community, and he's also known to have joyrides with his friends on the block. Neighbors have also complained about loud motorcycles revving their engines at inappropriate times of the night, and his guests have also spilled over into neighboring properties from time to time. It's also been reported that during parties, Kelly's guests have parked in neighbors' driveways and have blocked many of the neighbors' cars as well. It really seems as though he doesn't have a sense of respect for other people's properties or quiet hours. This all caused a feud between the rapper and his neighbor TV personality Jeff Lewis, who exposed Machine Gun Kelly for his nightly shenanigans. Luckily, they were able to bury the hatchet after the rapper bought Jeff a bottle of champagne as a truce, but what I really want to know is, did the shenanigans actually stop, or did Jeff just get over it for the sake of his frenemy? At number 6, G-Eazy. Okay, now that we've talked about some non-music related beefs with Machine Gun Kelly, let's circle back to this Eminem feud because this is where a lot of the hate really stems from. When it comes to feuds like this, you always see people taking sides, and so this is how MGK made some enemies along the way since a number of other artists sided with Eminem on this matter, including rapper G-Eazy, and this made things a little messy. See, G-Eazy already had a mild amount of hate for MGK after beach photos surfaced of MGK and Halsey spending the day together. At the time, Halsey and G-Eazy were on a break, but as far as G-Eazy was concerned, that was still his girl and Kelly crossed the line. So when this Eminem versus MGK stuff started to heat up, G-Eazy obviously sided with the opposition. As we all know by now though, rappers just can't let things rest, and so MGK did a freestyle rap during an interview and shaded G-Eazy, and then G-Eazy collabed back with his own diss track for MGK. You know, this back and forth rapper drama is incredibly exhausting. Between them fighting over Halsey and picking sides in a completely different fight, things got messy, but the bottom line here is that they really don't like each other. Get away from me, Fly. Don't make me square up with you.
And number 5, we have the religious Halloween costume. So I think it's safe to say that Megan's and MGK's recent Halloween photo made some Christians furious. And before you go making the same mistake, remember that religion's not a costume, and you should be careful on what you wear during the Halloween season. The two received serious backlash from the Christian community after the rocker dressed up as a priest for Halloween, and Megan was pictured on her knees wearing a dog leash and receiving communion from her fiance. Now the outfit quickly sparked fury, and it was definitely an offensive cringe moment of the two. One user would even go on and comment, why is it that celebs mock Christianity? What's the agenda, and why do y'all hate God so much? I guess the devil is real. The couple definitely went too far with these outfits, but did we really expect anything less from them? And number 4, we have Pamela Anderson's costumes. But the pair decided to attend Casamigos' annual Halloween party dressed up as the iconic pop duo Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. The outfits were dead on and cute, however, some of their Instagram photos definitely pushed boundaries. Machine Gun Kelly definitely decided to channel his inner multi-crew self and even posted a video to his Instagram, which definitely doesn't send a good message out to his fans and those struggling with addiction that look up to the star. I will say, Megan did choose to keep things classy and cute, however, her fiance decided to take a different approach to things, and it made us all cringe just watching the video. One fan would even say, sign me up for the lane train, this is absolutely not it. You have so many young fans, dude. Look at the kid that just drummed for you. You want him to think it's okay to do this stuff. The user then went on to claim that Kelly's music got them through their darkest days. But now that he's out here idolizing things that have caused a major epidemic, it just isn't it. And to be honest, I'm with this user. The stars definitely need to do better. And number 3, we have their attempt to be Bennifer. So this year, Megan and Kelly have definitely captured the public's imagination in a way you might not have expected. Yet nearly every time a photo is posted over the pair, people stop scrolling just so they can swoon over the pairing. Now, of course, we're talking about Bennifer 2.0, but for some reason, Megan and Kelly keep trying to convince us that they are them or a better version of them. Now, with the two having some pretty cringe moments that roll out between the relationship time to time, it's definitely kept us on our toes. Kelly is constantly gushing over Megan, changing his life, and how she helped him battle with addiction. While Fox has said over and over again that the two are twin flames, and has referenced them being two halves of the same soul, with the two constantly showing PDA, and to the point Megan has even referenced Kelly as daddy, these two have been giving us some serious cringe vibes, and we just haven't realized or taking it seriously until now. And number 2, we have Pick Me Up Energy. So last Wednesday, Megan Fox has been more open about expanding her family with her fiance, MGK. With the actor commenting on Kelly's photo admiring his handsome look, she even told the rocker to get her pregnant. The actor went on to write, never has anyone had better bone structure walk this earth. Exquisitely, devastatingly handsome. And 6'5", get me pregnant. Now the comment has also raised a few eyebrows, as her thirsty comment has had a huge cringy take, as the comment was definitely disturbing and awkward. One fan even commented, how awkward and how many times has she said something like this in public? And just like that, your fans will always come for you when you're on top. And at number 1 today, we have the foot fetish. So Just after Megan appeared on MGK's music video, Bloody Valentine, Kelly would go on to gush that the new love of his life had the most beautiful feet, exposing his foot fetish to the world. He went on to say, "No secret, I think feet are beautiful, and I think Megan has the most beautiful feet that exist." He then went on to add that when he asked Megan the question of her feet, she told him that she literally got a pedicure just because she had a feeling he was going to ask her about her feet. I mean, if you did watch the video, in one eye-catching scene, her feet were put on full display as the camera pans to a close-up shot of her feet pressing up against the rocker's face.
Number 10. Jeff Lewis. This feud could also be put down to friendly neighborhood rivalry, but it highlighted just how much of a nightmare it would be if you had to have MGK living right next door. It all started on Sirius XM's Radio Andy show when Jeff Lewis called out Machine Gun Kelly as the local troublemaker in his neighborhood. Lewis exposed his not-so-neighborly behavior. Quote, "Now I have no issue with this guy, but there's tension brewing. He said it's actually going to turn into the movie Neighbors, and that he's Zac Efron, which means that I'm effing Seth Rogen." Lewis then took a swing at Kelly's hardcore lifestyle. Quote, "I've learned a lot about him. At 5 p.m, that to them is day drinking. He had a big cake in the shape of a guitar. They still park in front of the fire hydrant. They park in front of people's driveways. I think they're so effed up that they just stop the car wherever it lands." But despite the criticism, Lewis insists that he doesn't hate the rapper and his friends. It's only his other neighbors that do, because they complain about it all the time. But before the feud escalated, MGK sent a bottle of Dom Perignon to Lewis as a friendly truce and said, "I wish we could have a chance to meet. If you ever need anything, just come knocking. Cheers, neighbor." Number 9. Halsey. The rapper was linked to Halsey in March of 2017 when they were spotted at a beach together. Photos of their tropical outing resurfaced in July of 2018, prompting Halsey to deny the dating rumors. 2 months after she debunked the relationship, MGK confirmed that they weren't dating but had previously been intimate. The rapper seems to be consistently embroiled in a series of gross, tedious, and self-promotional feuds with other rappers, but he was also unable to be respectful to his ex and not discuss their private business on air. The rapper went on the Breakfast Club radio show interview that was hosted by DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlemagne the God. At the time, Halsey's boyfriend G-Eazy was already taking shots at him through his music, so when Charlemagne inquired if MGK really smashed Halsey, he just said yes. Now, you think that he might respond to that question with "none of your business"? He did absolutely no such thing, and it was incredibly disrespectful. So what was Halsey's response to this mess? She tweeted, "How absolutely pathetic." But the singer seems to be doing great these days and recently welcomed a baby with her screenwriter boyfriend Alev Aydin. Number 8. Corey Taylor. If you're a rock or metal fan, chances are you've heard at least something about the feud that's been going on between Slipknot's Corey Taylor and Machine Gun Kelly. The beef started in February last year when Corey did an interview with Cutter's Rockcast where he dissed MGK's change in musical direction. Quote, "I hate all new rock for the most part. Well, the artist who failed in one genre and decided to go rock, and I think he knows who he is, but that's another story." Not long after, both artists performed at the Riot Fest and MGK took a swing at Corey on stage. Quote, "Hey, you wanna know what I'm really happy that I'm not doing? Being 50 years old wearing an effing weird mask on an effing stage," and claimed that he was talking smack. The diss immediately went viral online and people were criticizing Kelly left and right for his comments. He tried hard to defend himself, claiming that he was just responding to Corey's criticism, and explained that the rockstar had recorded a verse for his album, Tickets to My Downfall, that he didn't end up using, and accused him of being bitter over the situation. Then the Slipknot vocalist fired back, saying that he doesn't like airing his private business like a child, and came with receipts against Kelly's claims. It was truly a mic drop moment. Number 7. Conor McGregor. The UFC star got into an altercation with the singer that nearly turned physical. The story goes that McGregor and Kelly were both on the MTV Video Music Awards red carpet when things escalated very quickly. In video footage of the incident, McGregor could be seen lunging at Kelly, who was held back by security and his girlfriend Megan Fox. Seconds later, the fighter was escorted away, but not before he threw a cocktail in Kelly's direction. So what happened? Well, according to TMZ, McGregor walked up to say hello, asking for a photo. Kelly said something inaudible and rebuffed him with a shove, spilling some of McGregor's drink in the process. And then Kelly's security attempted to push him away, so that's when the fight broke out. Although the UFC fighter's spokesperson came out with a statement claiming he did not ask anyone for a picture, nor did he instigate the incident. For his part, McGregor downplayed the situation, and in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, he said that he just showed up and that he doesn't know what happened. statement, quote, "I only fight real fighters, people that actually fight. I certainly don't fight little vanilla ice white rappers. I don't even know the guy. I don't know anything about him except that he's with Megan Fox." Number 6. Brian Austin Green. When some celebrity couples split, they are looking forward to blending their families as they move on to new partners. That doesn't seem to be the case when it comes to Brian Austin Green and ex Megan Fox. When Megan and MGK publicly announced their engagement on the 12th of January, a year and a half after dating, they shared the news alongside a video of the proposal. But an insider source close to the 90210 star spoke to Entertainment Tonight, revealing that he wasn't bothered about it at all. In fact, he apparently couldn't care less about their engagement. Quote, "He doesn't have any lingering romantic feelings for Megan or any anger. Brian is happy for her, but it really isn't affecting him one way or another. There is no bad blood or ill will between them at this point." The source went on to add that Brian mainly feels indifferent towards the engagement and is glad he and Megan are co-parenting well together. The former couple, who announced their split in May of 2020, began dating in 2004 and share 3 children together. However, Brian is not exactly jumping up and down at the prospect of Kelly becoming a stepfather.
Coming at number 5, we have red carpet tension. While MGK and Megan Fox were at the 2022 Daily Front Row Awards, they would show the world that there was trouble in paradise after the pair were spotted having an awkward moment on the red carpet, after Kelly was pictured putting his arms around Megan's waist while leaning in for a kiss. What could have been this cute, really cringy moment quickly turned sour after Megan gave a pretty unexpected reaction as she turned away while looking irritated at the rapper. At the time, Megan and Kelly were standing side by side along with her stylist, who was being commemorated with the Style Curator Award. In the footage shared to Instagram, you could see Megan's stylist walking off before Megan quickly trailed behind her, and MGK stayed put and sipped a glass of wine. Just a month before the interaction, Kelly did open up to Howard Stern about how intense the two's relationship was, and he even recalled that there was a time that the two were in a dangerous place together. Number 4, the tough relationship. So in July of 2020, Megan would write on Instagram that her relationship wasn't going the way as many thought it was when she said, "We lay under the banyan tree. We were oblivious to the pain we would face together in such a short, frantic period of time, unaware of the work and sacrifices the relationship would require from us, but intoxicated off the love and karma." She then went on to conclude the post by noting that in the short period of time the couple had been together, they had already walked through hell together, which is honestly a big red flag for any relationship. Megan would then go on to say, "Somehow, a year and a half later, having walked through hell together and having laughed more than I ever imagined possible, he asked me to marry him. And as in every lifetime that will follow it, I said yes, and we drank each other's blood," which is honestly a pretty weird gesture to show someone you want to spend the rest of your life with them. But either way, it's clear that the two have been struggling since the relationship started, and we all knew it wasn't going to last, as the relationship was just a dollar store version of Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. Number 3, Billboard Music Awards. During a pretty intense moment at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards, after a very public X-rated display, Megan Fox could be seen in a video backstage as she appeared to drop what it looked like she was saying "what the F" to MGK. The actress, who looked frosty in the clip, appeared to speak to a third person before the couple went on their way. The whole interaction was just really weird just before the couple hit the red carpet to make sure all eyes were on them as they embarked into some pretty public PDA. The argument would then come just after he dedicated a song he performed at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards in Las Vegas to his wife and unborn child. Megan wasn't even pregnant. While both went on not to speak about what they were arguing about on the red carpet, Megan would then later react to the vulnerable moment by saying she was very proud of Kelly for giving such a vulnerable and emotional performance. Whatever the two were fighting about, though, however, didn't leave Megan looking too impressed. Number 2, Brian Austin Green. In the beginning of MGK's and Megan's relationship, Brian Austin Green was stirring up the pot as he made it clear he wasn't really okay with Megan moving on with her new partner, as his priorities weren't exactly to be buddy-buddy with his ex-wife's new beau. Brian just wanted MGK to treat Megan right, and he also wanted him to be a great guy to his kids. However, that didn't stop Brian from taking his own jab at Megan's relationship, as he shaded Megan over her Instagram post with MGK in 2020. In the post, Megan gushed over her new beau, MGK, after Megan captioned the photo of the image as achingly Finally, beautiful boy, my heart is yours. Brian, being a little bit of a troll, took to his Instagram shortly later to share a slideshow of his 3 kids he has with Megan, where he used the same caption. Not to mention, the two split up before and have gotten back together, so we could see them get back together again because they clearly still have love for each other. And coming in number 1 today, we have mental health. Back in June of 2022, MGK would open up in his Hulu documentary Life is Pink. MGK would give fans an intimate inside look into his life as he opened up about his struggles with mental health. Just halfway into the film, MGK would open up about how he fell into darkness after his father passed away in 2020, and he would then later explain in the documentary that this led him to create a pretty toxic relationship for Megan Fox. In the film, he would say, "I flew to my dad's apartment to clear all his stuff out, and I had this really weird interaction with his neighbor who told me things I didn't want to hear. That effed me up more because I couldn't get closure on it. This then caused the star to fall into this really dark place where he didn't even want to leave the room." He then went on to add that Megan went to Bulgaria to shoot a movie. This is when he started to get even more paranoid into his relationship, and he has a giant fear that someone was going to come and take his life. And one day, his fear hit an all-time high, and he called Megan and said, "You're not here for me, I'm in my room," and I'm like freaking out on her. MGK would then tell her that he was going to take his own life, and he was yelling on the phone, and in the process, all Megan could do was sit there dead silent as the two entered into this very scary moment together. This moment probably showed Megan that the two weren't in a healthy place to date, and it's probably why she needs to take a step back from their relationship at this moment.
Number 5. Sommer Ray. The model has opened up about the way her relationship with Machine Gun Kelly ended last year, and made the bombshell claim that he started dating Megan Fox while they were still together. Sommer and Kelly dated for 3 months until they split up at the end of April of 2020. But she claims that while Megan and Kelly were filming their Midnight in the Switchgrass movie, she was actually still dating him. She went on Logan Paul's podcast saying, quote, "He did kind of cheat on me with Megan Fox if you look at the timeline. I waited in the hotel the whole time while he's filming with her, and I'm not really thinking anything of it. I thought she was older and had kids and was married and stuff, but it wasn't the so-called cheating that got her so fired up." Sommer actually said that she was way more upset by the way that MGK exploited the end of their relationship on Twitter. She went on to say that she got death threats for weeks and weeks after from his cult following, and revealed that when she confronted Kelly about why she wasn't allowed on set for his music video, Bloody Valentine, he claimed it was COVID restrictions, before she later found out that Megan Fox was his romantic interest for the video, which is pretty bad when you think about it. Number 4. Miller McCormick. Machine Gun Kelly's film, originally called Good News, wasn't sitting well with the brother of late rapper Mac Miller. Kelly played the lead role in the film, a tortured rapper whose story takes its inspiration from the arcs of such contemporary artists like Mac Miller, Lil Peep, Pop Smoke, and even Juice WRLD. But in response to the announcement, Miller shared a social media message seemingly criticizing the project. Quote, "F you, F your movie, at least change the title." He particularly took umbrage with the movie's title, as Good News was Mac's first single from his January 2020 album Circles. The movie also alluded to the tragedy that was the late rapper's death in 2018 due to illicit substances at the age of 26. In response, the production company Riverlet Media issued a statement. Quote, "Our film is about a fictional musician on the rise with a troubled life. It's not in any way a biopic or based on any artist's true life. We realize the title, which was intended as an homage to Mac Miller and other artists gone too soon, feels disrespectful." The title was then changed to Taurus and was released earlier this year, although it's clear that Miller didn't appreciate Kelly's on-screen portrayal of his brother at all. Number 3. G-Eazy. This feud really started as more of a complicated love triangle. While G-Eazy was dating Halsey, MGK exposed some intimate details about his prior relationship with her. When Kelly went on The Breakfast Club in 2018 and made those disparaging comments about the singer, it was pretty clear that G-Eazy was not having it at all. The admission was also a really big deal because it was the first time either musician publicly acknowledged that they had a relationship that was more than platonic. Halsey got wind of the interview immediately and tweeted about how pathetic she thought Kelly was. But the feud didn't exactly start there, as 1 month before the interview, G-Eazy dropped the track Bad Boy, which includes the lyrics, "MGK, please stop trolling me, get over me. You wanna be me, you're mad that you're not as big as me, I'm everywhere, I'm your nightmare, you can't get rid of me." Hours later, Machine Gun Kelly dropped his freestyle rebuttal online, saying that the only Easy I F with is E. I F'd his girl, now turn that frat rap off, I get sick of hearing. He also accused Easy of copying his style by bleaching his hair blonde and wearing an earring. But by 2019, it was clear to fans that the rappers had overcome their feud because Easy invited Kelly on stage to perform with him at a nightclub in Las Vegas. Number 2. Gabrielle Rodriguez. 2 members of Machine Gun Kelly's crew have been arrested after they allegedly attacked Gabrielle Rodriguez, better known as G-Rod. According to TMZ reports, Brandon Allen and John Capoletti turned themselves into authorities a full year after the alleged incident occurred at a Hampton Inn hotel in Georgia. There is actual CCTV footage showing those members of MGK's crew violently attacking the 41-year-old actor in a hotel lobby. As a result, they were both charged with misdemeanor battery causing substantial harm. According to Rodriguez, the attack happened as a sort of revenge because he confronted MGK for making those creepy comments about Eminem's daughter when she was 16 at the time. The publication also obtained a video of Rodriguez explaining why he called out the rapper. Quote, "I'm gonna say it because it has to be said. You're a pussy for going for my family." He proceeded to call him a coward after the attack and claimed he filed a lawsuit against the rapper for allegedly instructing his crew to carry out the attack. Rodriguez also sued the hotel for negligence, but MGK's crew only got a slap on the wrist for the whole incident. And coming in at number 1, Eminem. To set the scene for this feud, we have to go back a whole decade. In 2012, MGK tweeted about Eminem's daughter, Haley Mathers, and it wasn't exactly what any father would want to hear. Quote, "Okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say she is hot as F." And he said this despite the fact that yes, she was 16 at the time. Kelly claimed in a radio interview a few years later that some critics wouldn't review his work because of his comments about Haley, alleging that Eminem blacklisted him from several radio stations because of the tweet. The two rappers went on to diss each other on a number of different tracks, including Eminem's Not Alike, where he says that Kelly is only trying to keep up his tough demeanor and goes on to criticize the rapper's comments about his daughter. But the diss tracks reached a whole new level when MGK released a song titled Rap Devil, calling Eminem sober and bored and making fun of his age. After rather a lot of back and forth, Eminem completely obliterated him in an interview. Quote, "Like I'm trying to hinder his career. I don't give an F about your career. You think I actually effing think about you? Do you know how many effing rappers are better than you? You're not even in the effing conversation."
At number 10, we have when Megan dodged MGK's kiss. During the 2022 Daily Front Row Awards, there was definitely some heat going on between Megan and MGK. When MGK went to put his arms around Fox and go in for a kiss, Megan's reaction was unexpected as she turned away looking irritated at the rapper. While Kelly stayed sipping a glass of wine, he remained unfazed by what happened. Usually the couple shows ongoing affection for each other, so when fans saw the couple display some serious heat on the red carpet, many were concerned with what was going on. It's certainly not strange for the couple to display their affection on the red carpet, but it is strange for them to behave in such an odd way. Like any disagreement, it should have just been left behind a closed door instead of displayed in such a weird way. At number 9, we have the engagement ring. So it's no lie that MGK got a little creative when he designed Megan's engagement ring. When the rocker finally popped the question, he gifted Megan a symbolic two-tone sparkler which featured both of their birthstones in a pearl-shaped cut. He also added a little insurance to make sure that the actress would stay committed to him. MGK would tell Vogue magazine that the bands were actually made with thorns, so if Megan ever tried to take off the ring, it would hurt. He then added that love is pain. MGK wanted a ring that would be completely original and meaningful to both Megan and himself, and he definitely did just that. The double pair-cut gems were definitely a fitting choice for the two, as they've been twin flames since becoming inseparable back in 2020. Now the ring was definitely stunning, but was it worth the pain to remove for a good cleaning? If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have the necklace. In an interview with Ellen, MGK explained why Megan gave him a drop of her blood in a necklace for him to wear while she was filming a new movie. MGK was completely freaked out at the fact that Megan was departing to go film and he didn't have a passport to go visit her. In order to help her boyfriend from his separation anxiety, Megan decided to give him a small piece of her that he could always have with him. After giving such a much needed explanation, he did go on to say that Bernie Sanders helped him get a passport and it led to the success of his relationship with Megan Fox. And number 7, we have the blood rituals. So Megan and MGK consume each other's blood during rituals from time to time. The two started to follow the practice on their engagement, and in an engagement video Megan shared on Instagram, she wrote, "Just as in every lifetime before this one, and in every lifetime that will follow. I said yes, and we drank each other's blood." The actor then went on to go tell Glamour magazine that drinking blood might mislead people, as many people were probably imagining them drinking from goblets or like they were in Games of Thrones. However, it was more just like a few drops of blood that they still consume on occasion for ritual purposes. Now, I don't think I would ever be okay doing something like this, but hey, if it works for them, it works, and I'm not gonna judge them. At number 6, we have Bloody Valentine video. So just days after Megan's ex-husband Brian Green addressed that the two were having marriage troubles, Megan was featured on Kelly's steamy music video to his song Bloody Valentine, and many started to speculate that the two were seeing each other. Now, the rumors were true, and the two in the video played some sort of couple who seemed to be cooped up in Kelly's crib. The video clearly showed that the couple was trying too hard, there was definitely more going on between the two, and that the lyrics actually hinted that the two started a legitimate relationship. Now, the video wouldn't have been so bad if Megan didn't leave Brian, and this wasn't the way he found out about the two's relationship becoming official. That had to hurt.
At number 5, Halsey. But speaking of Halsey, we can't forget to include her side of the narrative here. Tying into this beef with Jeezy and MGK, Halsey was sort of stuck in the middle of this. She sort of had two people fighting over them, just adding to the overall messiness of the feud. Though I wouldn't say that she downright hates Machine Gun Kelly, there was a point where she certainly wasn't impressed by the way that he was acting. Halsey responded to all the drama that was going on at the time by calling Machine Gun Kelly, quote, pathetic. This is in response to the claims that MGK made during an interview where he said that he had, quote, smashed Halsey after allegedly dating in 2017. This all seems to be water under the bridge now, since MGK and Halsey collaborated on the song Forget Me Too that was released last year, but I'm going to assume that it took a little while for things to cool off between them before coming back together to work. At number 4, Miller McCormick. Machine Gun Kelly recently made a new enemy, and that enemy is Miller McCormick, the brother of the late Mac Miller. The rapper was set to start production on a new film titled Good News, but after facing criticism from McCormick, it was looking like the film would start production untitled. The film in question was supposed to be about an up-and-coming musician who struggled with deep-rooted personal issues and is inspired by a lot of young rappers' origin stories. Now, the problem that Miller McCormick had with this film in particular was the fact that the title was the same as the last song that was released by Mac Miller posthumously. That, combined with the strange similarity to Mac's life, just didn't sit right with him, and he had to make that known. McCormick seemed to criticize MGK's movie on his Instagram, where he said, quote, F you movie, at least change the title. This sparked a number of others also calling for changes to the film, and this later reached producers who vowed to change the film's title. Now, we don't know if all of this similarity to Mac Miller was intentional or not, but either way, MGK got in some hot water and probably lost some respect from McCormick. At number 3, Corey Taylor. Recently, Machine Gun Kelly went through sort of a metamorphosis of music, so to speak, reinventing his sound. The rapper recently released an album that was more punk rock alternative sounding, and a lot of people had opinions on it. As they do. One person who really had nothing nice to say about MGK's new sound was Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor, as he shared his thoughts on artists in the rock genre in a recent interview. Essentially, Corey said that artists these days are ripping off their sound from other more original artists, and he also took a jab at MGK when he said, quote, I hate the artists who failed in one genre and decided to go rock. I think he knows who he is, but that's another story. I'm the worst. I hate everything, and people are used to that with me though. That seemed like quite a loaded comment at MGK, and there was a lot of fury behind it as well. Either way, this new sound that MGK is working with really seems to be paying off for him, since he recently won a VMA for Best Alternative Video for his song My Ex's Best Friend, which is actually a banger if you haven't checked that one out already. At number 2, Sommer Ray. Even though Machine Gun Kelly is thriving with his girlfriend Megan Fox, apparently there's some alleged drama surrounding their relationship and his former relationship with Instagram model Sommer Ray. This influencer recently alleged that MGK cheated on her with Megan while he was away filming for the movie Midnight in the Switchgrass. That film set is where Megan and MGK first met. Sommer, going into more detail, said, quote, I don't really feel bad saying that because he did kind of cheat on me with Megan Fox if you look at the timeline. Sommer also alleged that she had confronted Kelly about why she was told that she wasn't allowed to be on the set for one of his music videos. MGK said that it was because of COVID, but she later found out that it was because Megan was playing the rapper's love interest in the video. Overall, Sommer was just left feeling a little betrayed at the end of it all, so I don't really blame her for having some kind of negative energy towards Machine Gun Kelly. And finally, at number 1, Brian Austin Green. Now, the one person who I feel would really hate Machine Gun Kelly the most is Megan Fox's ex-husband, Brian Austin Green. Although he tried to make people think that things are all fine and dandy with him, and that most of his hostility is more so directed to Megan, I feel like deep down there's still some hatred there for Kelly, since he's the one that Megan fell in love with first after him. Ever since Megan and Machine Gun Kelly went public with their relationship, Brian has spoken out about the relationship a few times, but a lot of people feel as though he's hiding his true feelings. In one interview, when asked about how he found out about the relationship, he gave very few details and simply said, quote, "I found out in my own way, and that's as much detail as I'll give you on that one." Something just isn't right there, but I feel as though in time his true feelings will come out, and I feel like it might be a little messy too. Maybe a diss track will also come out of it.
Starting off our list today at number 10, we have dishonesty. Before Megan Fox decided to quit Instagram altogether, she didn't leave without saying some pretty juicy messages that have the internet going into a frenzy trying to figure out what's actually going on. On Sunday, February 12th, Megan Fox shared a stunning mirror selfie to her page of herself getting ready, and in the post she would say, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath." And if you didn't catch the reference, she literally quoted Beyonce's song, "Pray You Catch Me." The actor did not further elaborate on the meaning of her social media caption. However, if you take a look at Beyonce's song from her Lemonade album, this is where she seemingly hinted that her husband Jay-Z had been unfaithful. While Megan Fox did not reveal if infidelity had occurred in her relationship with MGK, many people before the star decided to opt out of social media app noticed that she did seemingly delete all of her Instagram photos with MGK. Number 9. The letter. Jumping back to Megan Fox's post just before she deleted her Instagram account, not only did she post a stunning mirror selfie with the caption, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath," but she also shared a video of a fire burning. And if you caught the video before Megan deactivated her account, then you could see that there were a couple of items in the pit. One looked like a letter that MGK may have given her, and there was also a bag in it. As the fire went on to burn these items within the pit, Megan also opted to scrub MGK completely off her Instagram account. However, just previously to her cryptic post, they were spotted out together at Cash App and Visa's H-Wood homecoming party on Friday, where Megan wore the same black outfit from her Sunday upload while partying with MGK at the pre-Super Bowl party bash in Miami. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have the wedding date. Just after the two got engaged, it was speculated that they were going through a small breakup. However, then an inside source would tell US Weekly that they were still planning to walk down the aisle when they said, "Megan and MGK haven't set a date yet, but they've been secretly planning their wedding. They're working on it, and they're also working on themselves. They've worked on their problems and worked really hard to get to the place where they are today. It's still a struggle at times, and they tend to have lots of ups and downs. He is making an effort to be more mature." However, it seems like it was just more than MGK not being mature enough that led to the pair's problems. As the source then went on to conclude, they have their differences at times where he likes to stay out and party and she's okay with going home early. There was also points months ago where she was beyond done with him. She was fed up with his BS, he loves her so much, and he was the one to push to make it work. He wanted it to work and he wanted them to be a happy couple. She was having a hard time, but then things have turned around. But looking at recent events, it seems like things never turned around, and now Megan is realizing that she made one giant mistake. Number 7, Eminem. Everything seemed to have been going well for Megan Fox and MGK on Saturday night when they arrived at Drake's Super Bowl party, but something went wrong, and while MGK was posting stories about his performance at the party stage, Megan was in the bathroom posting selfies with a quote to reference maybe MGK had an affair. The post has since been deleted, but she also went on to delete all traces of MGK from her account, and she also went on to purge her friend list and took a jab at MGK in the process by following his arch nemesis Eminem. While it's no secret, Eminem came to end MGK's career after MGK released his diss track Rap Devil, which leads to the question why Megan, being close to Eminem, would even want to date MGK in the first place, as Megan has known Eminem personally since she starred in his music video for his single with Rihanna, Love the Way You Lie, back in 2010. And it must have been difficult enough for Megan to date MGK even without Eminem making fun and gloating about everything going on. But it is pretty iconic that Eminem's song Kill Shot and the mark on his album is not fading from MGK's face. And the fact Megan went on to follow Eminem in the midst of all this drama, I really need someone to confirm what went down, so if you have the deets, please DM me right now. Number 6, Pete Davidson. With Megan Fox and MGK hitting the headlines as people are speculating that the two broke up, it naturally only took approximately like 2 seconds for the internet to drag Pete Davidson's name into the conversation. While the internet has turned Pete Davidson into one giant meme, urging him to make a move on the now single Megan Fox. For what it's worth, Pete and MGK are extremely close friends, so it seems highly unlikely that Pete would date Megan, but it didn't stop fans from saying things like Pete Davidson has entered the chat, and the jokes have quickly repeated all over the internet, with one person even tweeting, Megan Fox and MGK breaks up and it's time for Pete Davidson to pop out of nowhere. Another would say, if Megan Fox did break up with MGK, we need to get eyes on Pete Davidson, stat. And it would make sense to why Megan once told Pete that he was never going to get with Kim Kardashian, as she wanted him for herself. And when they all went on a double date, it seemed like Megan and him were hitting it off, as MGK would then later say he regretted going on a double date with them.
In at number 5, Michael Bay. Michael Bay is the person who started Megan's career, but he also was responsible for briefly ending it too. Fox became well known for her role as Michaela Baines in the 2007 film Transformers and the 2009 film Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, both directed by Michael Bay. However, in 2009, she started a feud with Bay that got her fired from the massive franchise. During a 2009 interview with Wonderland magazine, she called him out for his behavior on set, saying, quote, he's like Napoleon, and he wants to create this insane, infamous madman reputation. He wants to be like a dictator on his sets, and he is. So he's a nightmare to work for, but when you get him away from set and he's not in director mode, I kind of really enjoy his personality because he's so awkward, so hopelessly awkward. He has no social skills at all, and it's endearing to watch him. He's vulnerable and fragile in real life, and then on set he's a tyrant. And we know that he treated her badly while on set, but obviously this was not the right way to handle things and got her blacklisted from the business. And this obviously got her fired from the third film. Bay ended up addressing the situation with somewhat of an apology, responding to the claim saying, quote, I know it's just Megan. Megan loves to get a response, and she does it in kind of the wrong way. I'm sorry, Megan. I'm sorry I made you work 12 hours. I'm sorry that I'm making you show up on time. Movies are not always warm and fuzzy. So here he's kind of calling her a spoiled brat of sorts. And at number 4, Transformers crew members. While Megan Fox was in a heated feud with director Michael Bay, 3 anonymous Transformers crew members wrote an open letter bashing Megan Fox. This letter was later published on Michael Bay's website, obviously supportive of the negative comments. In this letter, they call Fox, quote, dumb as a rock, unprofessional, Miss Sour Pants, a grump, thankless, classless, graceless, and an unfriendly bitch. One portion of the letter called out her negative comments in interviews, as well as making multiple comments about her being an adult film star. If a letter like that were published today, whoever wrote it would be cancelled immediately. Megan denied the claims made in the letter, saying, quote, I know that working with the Transformers crew was not that way with my crew. I loved my crew. Adding, quote, it was an anonymous letter. It could be anyone. It could be somebody who worked at Cracker Barrel in Florida. Who knows who it is? It's not true. My crew knows it's not true. And my producers know it's not true, Megan told ABC News. Although the letter was outrageous, it did sway public opinion of Megan to be more negative than it already was at that time. And at number 3, Brian Austin Green. It seems that Brian Austin Green and Megan have not divorced on good terms. Fox and Green dated on and off for 6 years before tying the knot in June of 2010. They split in 2015 but got back together in 2016 and stayed together for a few years later. But ultimately, Megan filed for divorce again in 2020 and is now dating Machine Gun Kelly. But following their split, the drama seemed to mount. One source said about the split, quote, Megan and Brian have taken a turn for the worse because Megan can be unpredictable and inconsistent, which is a big reason that they separated in the first place. A source told Us Weekly exclusively. Later adding, quote, she can be very hot and cold, hard to keep track of, and difficult to deal with. But we didn't get more details on the actual issues. Megan also publicly slammed Green after he posted a photo with one of their kids on Halloween, with Megan publicly commenting on the photo, wondering why Green included their son Journey when he easily could have just cropped him out. Part of her comment on the post read, quote, I had a great Halloween with them yesterday, and yet notice how absent they are from my social media. I know you love your kids, but I don't know why you can't stop using them to posture via Instagram. You're so intoxicated with feeding the pervasive narrative that I'm an absent mother. and you are the perennial, eternally dedicated dad of the year. You have them half the time. After that response, Green decided to take down the original photo and re-upload it cropped without their son in it. But many believe Megan overreacted to the situation. In at number 2, Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling seemed to defend her good friend, Brian Austin Green, against claims made by Megan that he was manipulative. Only days after Fox left the comment on Green's post, Tori posted a selfie to her Instagram with Green and Jenny Garth in it. The photo was from the set of Beverly Hills 90210 that is now being revived. In the long caption, Tori wrote in part, quote, "Grateful to be filming and creating new characters and stories, but there's nothing like home. When I think of my home, it's my OG zip code, my 90210 family. My heart lies with all of my brothers and sisters, but specifically Jenny Garth and Brian Austin Green." Adding later, quote, "Brian would pull my pigtails on set, and till this day can still push my buttons in the best of ways, because he knows me so well. We were just kids. But standing by these two for decades, I've watched them both grow into such amazing humans. We are all parents now, and Jen and Bri are the best parents I know. Honored to consider them my friends and brother and sister on this journey in life. I love you both. I always have, I always will." I don't think this post was intended to be against Megan, but by supporting Green, many felt that it was. And finally, number 1, Sommer Ray. Sommer Ray dated Machine Gun Kelly before Megan Fox, and she exposed that she believed that he cheated on her with Megan. Ray opened up on Impulsive, where she said that they dated for a few months, and that Coulson got with Megan before they had broken up. Sommer said that she didn't sleep with Coulson during their relationship because he didn't pass her test. But, quote, "I don't really feel bad saying that because he kind of cheated on me with Megan Fox," she said. Sommer said she was invited to Puerto Rico, where Coulson was filming Midnight in the Switchgrass with Fox, saying, quote, "I waited in the hotel the whole time while he's filming with her and I'm not really thinking anything of it. I thought she was older and had kids and was married and stuff." Apparently, Coulson also didn't allow her to go to the set of the Bloody Valentine music video, which starred Fox, because of COVID restrictions. But she says that she doesn't hold a grudge and thinks that they actually make a cute couple. So thankfully she doesn't have any hard feelings, but I'm sure that wasn't fun to learn that she was being cheated on. However, she didn't confirm if Megan knew that Coulson was in a relationship at the time or not.
Megan Fox made her acting debut in the family film called Holiday in the Sun that was released in 2001. This came after numerous supporting roles in both film and television, as well as a starring role in ABC's Hope and Faith. Although without a shadow of a doubt her breakout role as an actor was when she played Michaela Baines in the blockbuster action film called Transformers. She would then reprise her role in the sequel called Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, but incidents with director Michael Bay are what many attribute to her decline in Hollywood. Fox had signed up to reprise her role for a third movie with the Transformers franchise and even had gone to rehearsals. However, she also did an interview where she compared Michael Bay to Hitler, and he apparently was willing to forgive her, but producer Steven Spielberg wasn't so pleased. You see, after Spielberg directed the movie Schindler's List, he founded the Survivors of the Shoah Visual History Foundation to combat bigotry and keep alive the story of Holocaust survivors. So it's not surprising that when Fox made this comparison, he didn't take it lightly. During an interview with GQ magazine, Michael Bay responded to a question about the termination of Megan Fox from his film. He said, and I quote, "She was in a different world. On her BlackBerry, you gotta stay focused. And you know, the Hitler thing." Steven Spielberg said, "Fire her right now." Now apparently Spielberg has denied this version of the events, and Megan's representation told People magazine, "Megan Fox will not be starring in Transformers 3. It was her decision not to return. She wishes the franchise the best." Now no matter who you want to believe though, this left the screenwriters for the film scrambling to rewrite the script given that a replacement for Fox was now required. Despite claiming to just not want to be involved with the film, Hollywood deemed Megan Fox to be too difficult to work with. Screenwriter Aaron Kruger, who was on the team for Transformers Dark of the Moon, told GQ in 2011 more issues that they had with Megan adding to this point. In that article, he's quoted as saying, "She was there for rehearsals, but she seemed like an actress who didn't want to be a part of it. She was saying she wanted to, but she wasn't acting like it." Following her comments regarding Michael Bay, 3 crew members who had also worked on the Transformers franchise released a scathing statement just trashing Megan Fox. I mean, it's far too long to read out the entire thing, but I'll give you some of the highlights. In one section they say, "Michael found this shy, inexperienced girl, plucked her out of total obscurity, thus giving her the biggest shot of any young actress's life. He told everyone around to just trust him on his choice. He granted her the starring role in Transformers, a franchise that forever changed her life. She became one of the most Googled and ogled women on earth. She was famous. She was the next Angelina Jolie. Hooray! Wait a minute, 2 of us work with Angelina. Second thought, she's no Angelina. You see, Angelina is a professional." The shade. Then in another section, these crew members start to talk about Megan's lack of interest while being on set. And who is the real Megan Fox? She is very different than the Academy nominee and winning actors we've all worked around. She's as about ungracious a person as you can ever fathom. She shows little interest in the crew members around her. We work to make her look good in every way, but she's absolutely never appreciative of anyone's hard work. Never a thank you. All the crew members have stopped saying hi to Miss Princess because she never says hello back. It gets tiring. Many think she just really hates the process of being an actress. And as a follow-up to her unceremonious departure from Transformers, Megan starred in a box office flop called Jennifer's Body. Then DC, wanting to hop on the train like Marvel with their Iron Man 1 film and Iron Man 2 film, they started using lower tier titles and released a Jonah Hex film in 2010. Millions of potential filmgoers asked the very good question of, what the hell is a Jonah Hex? Well, he's a grizzled 19th century bounty hunter with a burned face, played by Josh Brolin, while Fox played the love interest, an Old West prostitute named Lila Black. Jonah Hex proved to also be a huge box office flop, earning a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes and just $10 million at the American box office. Even Megan Fox herself realized how bad that movie was. While at WonderCon in 2016, she was answering questions about which movie she would let her kids see, and here's what Megan had to say. Something like Jennifer's Body, I'm not going to let them see for a long time. Something like Jonah Hex, I'm not going to let them see ever. No one should ever see that movie. Came from herself. Now, a lot of my thoughts about why Megan wasn't being cast had a lot to do with the projects on her resume more than who she is as a person. The reality is that most actors are difficult to work with, but if they are a big star, then the whole film crew just kind of bites their tongues throughout the filming. However, Megan has noticeably made a move to other mediums. She's doing more comedy with her temporary time on the sitcom New Girl, and she was just in Machine Gun Kelly's music video.